learned one lesson from COVID-19 is that we need to address the issue of inequality in access to ICT and the internet in terms of education. It shows that internet technology is no longer a luxury. It has now become the basic tools for learning, and that we have to work very hard to expand the penetration of the internet to the rural areas, because it makes a difference on whether a child will have opportunity to learn or not, as we have seen in the last 7 or 8 months. So that is one level of inequality and imbalance that we must address. The second one is that we will have to find explanation for why majority of the finalists are from one local government. I may not be able to give you on top of my head now why it is like that, but all of us should ask ourselves, how come that out of hundreds of children that came for this competition across the 16 local governments, one local government tend to dominate? And how come there's no representation from other parts of the states at all, even though they were part of the competition? How come none of them got to the final, or only very few of them got to the final? So I think it's a challenge for policymakers to begin to address these issues, to ask themselves questions. Why is this imbalance? Because it will ultimately reflect on representation down the line across different sectors. So that's why I think it's an important issue that needs to be addressed.
Honorable Minister, the success of virtual learning, e-learning, depends on putting in place some basic infrastructure.
Yes.
In our context, you have electricity deficit and water.
Virtual learning that using what we call surrogate teachers, that is alternative to human beings sitting in a class and all that. It is not new. It has been used over the years in different countries. In India, in Pakistan, in different countries, it has been used, especially where there are no teachers. So in those countries, when you cannot get physical teachers to go to classrooms in rural areas, they have used this technology to substitute for it. So there are technologies, and there are technologies that don't need electricity, that can be incorporated, built into this. There are so many opportunities. There are different research that has been done. There are different scientific products that have been done on how to package curriculum and deliver to children in underserved areas. So it's nothing new. So it doesn't require NEPA or anything. It just needs that we must understand what needs to happen and what we need to deliver and how to deliver them. No, the charge is we have to understand that if we don't bridge the gap, you see, many years ago in this country, the fact that you go to school means that you get education. But what you find these days is that majority of children are going to school. We have more children going to school these days than we have ever had at any point in our history. But only very few are getting education. So going to school no longer guarantees that you get education. So the biggest challenge is, how do we create equal opportunity to ensure that when a child steps into a school, that child will get education, regardless of whether the parents have money or not? Because what is now happening is that the opportunity that the chance that a child will get education depends on the economic situation of the parent, who can afford to pay for private, So it shouldn't be so. Because at the end of the day, we are building a society, and no society can survive on that kind of imbalance.